Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the first-ish HIFA. I wouldn't really consider that last episode uh, true HIFA. It was more of a vlog, and I've got a few things to say about the changes of weapons in Dynasty Warriors 8, or sorry, Dynasty Warriors 9. I'm already messing up. This is why I stay on script. But I decided to do this episode of HIFA as a Let's Play. I'm going to play as Luling Chi using the Sword and Shield. We're going to go through the final stage in Lubu's story. And yeah, I'm going to let you know exactly how I feel about the changes of the weapons and more so just like a lot of the changes and stuff about Dynasty Warriors 9. But I want to talk more specifically about the weapons. So let's get into this. Oh, I forgot. I've got everybody on their original costumes. Lubu looks fucking boss here. Oh. So anyways, what I think about a lot of the weapon changes is I think they're pretty much the they're very character conscious in my opinion. Like a lot of the weapon changes that have been made have been due to the characters' personalities and like the kind of personalities that Koei Tecmo has developed over the ages, not necessarily what the Three Kingdoms necessarily gave us, like in the history. So like even Xiahou Yuan's using the twin rods that Taishi usually uses. I think that fits him really nicely. I think changing Lu Lingqi's weapon, or Lu Lingqi, I don't know how it's properly pronounced. Anyways, I think that weapon change is really, really smart because, as you'll see here, she definitely looks more like a warrior, and that's how I picture her character. We didn't really get to see much of her. I think she's in like 2 or 3 cutscenes in Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends, but I think the personality that we do get to see of her, she seems more like a loyal warrior than that hot-headed kind of Lubu-esque personality. She definitely doesn't get that from her dad. Now, I don't know who the mother of Lu Lingqi is. Lu Lingqi. I'm gonna go back and forth between those two pronunciations. I swear to God. But essentially, like, if Koei is trying to make Lu Lingqi Diao Chan's daughter as well as Lubu's daughter, I don't think they are, but like she definitely has a lot of qualities in the North American versions that Diao Chan has. She's she seems very loyal and very sensible. Like, she seems very much grounded compared to her father. And I'm not really going to try it. By the way, I'm not going to try to, like, be amazing at this game. I think I've got this on easy, so I'm just powering through this for the sake of showing you, what she's like. Maybe after this I'll move on to Xiahou Yuan. I don't know. I think Lu Lingqi and one stage is going to be enough to talk about how I feel about Dynasty Warriors 9. So anyways, another thing that I've been seeing, like, get criticized a lot is the fact that people are afraid to get clones back. People are afraid that, Lu Xun and Liu Bei are going to have the same fighting styles and the same movesets. Zhao Yun and Zhang Fei are going to get the same movesets. Xiahou Yuan and Taishi Ci are going to get the same movesets. Like, I see this being commented so much, and I've seen so many people, like, actively say that, oh, we're getting Dynasty Warriors 6 again. This is going to be Dynasty Warriors 6, and I just know it. But people don't seem to remember that Dynasty Warriors 3, 4... excuse me. I had something to drink before. I had some OJ before this. Ugh. Excuse me. Had to talk through the burp, so I didn't, just let it out in front on the mic. Anyways, people don't seem to understand that Dynasty Warriors 3, 4, and 5, there were technically clones in those games. It's just that, like, a lot of the charge attacks and Musos differed just enough that it felt like you weren't playing as the exact same character. But I think it's Yuan Shao, Dong Zhuo, Liu Bei, Sun Jian, and Sun Quan. Look at the first 3 normal attacks. They are pretty much the exact same, if not the exact same. And then you look at a lot of the charge attacks, and especially in Dynasty Warriors 3, the charge attacks were very, very close. And I think that's one thing that I forgot to mention as a plus as in like the minor improvement department for most of these games, is that when they did Dynasty Warriors 4 and then they did Dynasty Warriors 5, they differentiated the movesets just enough. Oh, I guess I can't destroy these. Okay, I'll just try to block. Anyways, they differentiated the movesets just enough that it didn't feel like you were, playing the same character. Because if you go back to Dynasty Warriors 2, these were all clones. Liu Bei, Sun Jian, like that whole set. And then you had, who was it? Zhang Liao and Lu Meng had the same movesets. Huang Zhong, Gan Ning, and Xiahou Yuan all had the same movesets. And the other thing that they did was, as the Dynasty Warriors went on, they differentiated like the looks of the weapons, especially in Dynasty Warriors 4, which you can tell they've already started to do that. And even if you look back at Dynasty Warriors 7, a game that a lot of people seem to say is one of the better Dynasty Warriors games, it has clones, but at least you have differing Musos and EX attacks to kind of give each character that personality. That's the big thing that I hope for, and that I think that Koei Tecmo isn't going to fall flat on, is making sure that each character still has their personality, even if some movesets remain the same between some characters. You're still going to have your Musos and maybe some EX attacks that really differentiate between each character. And I think that's going to be like the big thing that people are going to see. I don't think Koei Tecmo is going to make each and every character fight differently. I think we're going to go back a little bit to Dynasty Warriors 7, where you're going to have characters having different EX attacks. And I can definitely tell that Koei Tecmo is more focusing on the open world aspect rather than the weapons, necessarily. And I don't think that's a bad thing either. You know, they can definitely use a little bit of an update, because there are certain weapons in this game that I just, like Guo Hai and Xiahou Ba, I don't think they should have those kind of weapons. And I believe I am lost. So yeah, I think that the weapon changes that they're making are definitely for the better. I don't think that the minor character changes that they are making are going to be like that detrimental to the game. I think this is all positive changes that are being made. The character designs look fucking fantastic, in my opinion. I think a lot of the costumes scream, and I'm not the only one saying this, they definitely scream Dynasty Warriors 5. Like, Xiahou Dun's costume looks like a mixture between his Dynasty Warriors 8 and Dynasty Warriors 5 costumes. It definitely has like the same kind of color palette to it. And then you look at Ling Tong, it definitely feels a little bit more Dynasty Warriors 5. Lu Xun having his hat back, Liu Bei having his mustache back, Yuan Xiao having his helmet back. Things are definitely feeling very Dynasty Warriors 5-ish for me. But the game is more shaping up to be... It's looking like it's going to feel more like Dynasty Warriors 7, where it's definitely going to be that breath of fresh air that I really wanted in the Dynasty Warriors series. I honestly don't know how they're going to do co-op. So I might as well say now I'm going to start talking about like the things that I am afraid of. I've got my reservations on, and that's any type of multiplayer. I do not see it working out in this kind of format that they're moving towards. There is ways that I could see it working, because you have games like Borderlands that are an open world multiplayer game. You could do it online only kind of multiplayer. Hold on. Gonna pause for a moment. I have a text. And we're back. Sorry, I had to answer that text. So yeah, talking about multiplayer, I can see them kind of working something like Borderlands, where like maybe when you enter villages, you kind of have that little like loading screen or whatever that makes you all go to the same place. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to work out in the vision that they have for the open world. I think their open world, they want it to be fully open world, no loading screens except for maybe like when you start up the game. So to do that, I don't see it really working out to make any kind of multiplayer, local or online. If they decide to do like a what am I thinking? An Empires type game, they could make that like an MMO where you have to go to these areas and fight actual player characters, and when you die, maybe you go back to your village or whatever, and you're not allowed to enter battle areas for a certain amount of time while your character heals. I don't know how they would make that really work out. I'm also kind of concerned with the whole open world itself. Are they going to make it full enough? Like, I know they've said that you can run into tigers and bears and different bandits and stuff like that, but are we going to want to do that? Like, of course we're going to want to do that, like, for the first little while, but how are they going to make it so that we're going to want to explore this world forever? Like, Skyrim did it, Oblivion did it years ago. I've explored that world endlessly for, I don't know, definitely longer than I probably should have. But like, the big thing with Skyrim was that they gave that world infinite side quests, and I could see them doing that with Dynasty Warriors. Just be like, you'd speak to a villager, and they're like, a band of tigers in the woods are attacking villagers when they go out to forage and stuff. Can you take care of that? And if they have, like, infinite numbers of those, like, just have small fetch quests and stuff, are you going to have crafting in this game? Are we going to be able to, like, I don't know, chop trees or something to get wood for fetch quests and stuff like that. If if we're able to do that, then oh, there's the burp. Ugh. If we're able to do that, then I think it's going to be definitely an experience that Warriors fans needed. I I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited. I just have certain reservations with this because I want Dynasty Warriors 9 to succeed. And I want it to succeed by, like, just by the numbers. I want it to bring Koei Tecmo fucking bank. Because Koei Tecmo definitely deserves the AAA status that it should have by now. But a lot of people don't necessarily see it as a AAA developer, maybe like a AA developer, if that. And it's mostly because reviewers tend to think that, you know, just because it's a button masher makes it unfun. And, like, fun is very subjective and everybody's different, but you can't have a fan base like this if your game is just repetitive mess. Like, I've heard a lot of people, like a lot of Koei Tecmo fans, say, well, what about something like Mario, where all you're doing is you're jumping, you're dodging things. A lot of people are like, yeah, well, that's skill. Well, it's definitely skill to try to get all of the secret weapons, especially in the older games where, like, even on normal, I could fucking die. But that's the big thing that people just don't seem to understand, is that fun is inherent. It's not necessarily a fact. There are games that are praised highly that I don't necessarily enjoy that much. I can't really think of anything right now at this very moment, but like, just for Koei Tecmo example, I didn't play much of Godseekers because I'm not huge on tactics style games. I find that I get lost in the grind, and when you have a certain amount of characters, or like, your enemies have so much health and stuff, the battles can just drag on. Like, that's why I stopped playing Project Cross Zone, and I love crossover style games like Smash Bros, and I'm gonna freaking love Warriors All-Stars. I do have my reservations about that, and, you know, I'm gonna probably do a comparison between it and Warriors Orochi, just to kind of tie ends off with the comparison where I said Warriors Orochi was my favorite Warriors title of all time, and it still is. I still play Warriors Orochi 3. But yeah, I just don't see why people are complaining so much about Dynasty Warriors 9. And the big reason why I kind of stayed away from doing, like, a Discussed It on Dynasty Warriors 9 was mainly because I felt like there wasn't enough information to necessarily have an opinion on it. And I still don't feel that way. I still feel we need a lot more information. We need a lot more gameplay videos to be able to necessarily know what we're getting into. Like, we've seen combat. We've seen little bits of adventuring, but we haven't seen the full game in action, necessarily. We haven't seen whether or not these characters are going to have clone movesets. I haven't seen weapons switching. I don't know if anyone else has. I haven't watched most of these gameplay videos all the way through because I've been trying to work on my own videos. But I don't see where the negativity necessarily, like, has a home in the Koei Tecmo community. And I've been seeing this kind of stuff coming from the community, and I just feel like I have to say, hold your horses, guys. Pull red hair back a little bit. Hold on to your meat buns for a second. Because, yeah, there's been a few things that I'm still afraid of, or questions that just haven't been answered. But we still don't have the full picture yet. And to criticize it and say that Dynasty Warriors 9 is going to fail flat like Dynasty Warriors 6, I think that's just taking the wind out of the sails of the Warriors franchise. More so than people should be doing. People should be questioning some of the changes that are happening in Dynasty Warriors 9. But I don't think that we should be necessarily saying that it's going to be a failure up front. And as I've said, I think a lot of the changes that have been made to the actual game have been very much for the positive steps that we need in the Warriors franchise. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say other than that. I've kind of come up with a blank, and this is why I don't necessarily go off. Oh, my throat is dry. Sorry about that, but this is why I don't necessarily go off script very frequently, because I just forget. I forget stuff that I should be saying, and I can't even see how long this video's been. My computer's a little far away for me to see, but maybe I'll cut it off now. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think that a lot of the changes have been for the positive? Do you think that Dynasty Warriors 9 is going to be another Dynasty Warriors 6, or are you as positive as I am? I don't know. I'm a very positive kind of person to begin with. I'm not a very negatively thinking person. I'm not a pessimist, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I'm very optimistic about some of the changes that are happening. Jesus fuck. Did you fucking see that? All the archers just making me block. But yeah, I'm thinking very positively. I'm still being a realist and questioning a lot of the changes and a lot of the things that we don't have an answer on quite yet. But I think Koei is making the right steps in reinvigorating the Dynasty Warriors franchise. And I can't wait to see what exactly they bring to the table with Dynasty Warriors 9 once it's actually at its full retail release. I can't wait to see more characters getting revealed. I want to see more from Jin. Do you think that there's actually... do you think there's going to be more characters revealed? Because we haven't had a new Jin character revealed. We haven't had a new female character revealed, which, if this happens to be... If it happens that there's no more new characters to be revealed, this will be the first Dynasty Warriors game that doesn't add a female character. To me, you know, I'd like to see more representation of female characters in the game, but I won't be super bothered by not having a new female character. I'm going to be honest. There's some badass female characters in this game already that I feel need to be much more fleshed out. Like Lulingqi. I think she needs much more story put into her. And the fact that Koei has said that each character is going to get their own story now, I think that's going to really help solidify a lot of these characters. I'm looking forward to that, having that Dynasty Warriors 5, Dynasty Warriors 3, your one character has a story kind of thing. Yeah, I'm just rambling on now. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far, let me know what your thoughts are in Dynasty Warriors 9. What do you want to see in Dynasty Warriors 9? Do you think there's going to be more characters revealed? Do you want to see more characters revealed? And who do you want to see? Or I should say, new characters. Not just revealed characters. This is why I stick to a script. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try to be much more talkative. I'm going to try to be more thinking off the top of my head and get more used to it, because like these kind of videos are going to be a lot easier to put out for you guys, and I want to talk to you guys about a lot of the stuff that's happening, especially with Dynasty Warriors 9. I'm going to be doing a lot more reaction stuff when the next batch of news comes out. Hopefully. Like the next day that it gets revealed, I'll be putting out a video. So, once again, thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already. Once I trip over my words a few times. Ring the notification bell if you haven't, because, you know, that whole thing, it's fun. I've had a few videos not show up in my subscription feed because of that. So if you want to continue watching my videos on the 15th of every month, or if you want to keep an eye out for how I feel about, definitely hit the notification bell. Check out my Patreon if you want to help support me. Check out these other videos that are up on the screen. I don't know. I've been thinking about doing, like, referencing other videos. So check out this, the review of Dynasty Warriors 8. And maybe check out my Warriors All-Stars Disgusted. I actually changed the title of it now. So, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. And, of course, down in the comments.